another question. In the quantum school of Zen, how many lay practitioners receive Inca, which is said to, how many per year attain enlightenment? Everybody gets enlightened, but they forget so quickly, and then they do stupid things again and make themselves and other people miserable. So in the Heart Sutra, Buddha says, no attainment with nothing to attain. That's a very important sentence. So Seung said, you must attain no attainment with nothing more, nothing to attain. You must attain that already complete, okay? And what I decided early on is I didn't, in my practice, I didn't care about Inca. I didn't care about Jito Popsa, I didn't care about becoming a Zen master or anything. I was sick of my suffering. I wanted to become clear. And I also very strongly, even before I came to the Zen Center, wanted to learn how to help others. I don't know why. I just have that. And originally, when I was a teenager, it was like politics and anti-Vietnam War demos. And then I thought, everybody's angry. All these political people, both sides, they're angry and they're always fighting with each other. Nothing changed. You know, one group's a little bit better than the other group, you know, but we asked Sun Tzu about politics once. He said, all politicians, animal minds. So that was that, you know. Then I studied psychology, and in college, I worked on a psychiatric unit. It was very good practical experience. And then I ended up practicing Buddhism. But my aim was just to become clear. Enlightenment, not enlightenment, I don't care. I want to become clear. I'm sick of my suffering, and I want to learn how to help people. There's many ways of helping people. You know, if you're a good cook, you make people happy. If you're a taxi cab driver and you're good to people, you make people happy. You know, there's millions of ways. Moment to moment, there's what you can help people by just being clear. So I just wanted to be clear. As far as numbers go, I'll give you a story. One time, a student asked Zen Master Sahn, you know, he had been in America maybe 5, 10 years or something. And the American student said, I read that in Japanese Buddhism, it takes 20 years of practice in Japanese Zen to get enlightened. How many years does it take in Korean Buddhism, Korean Zen, to get enlightened? Then Seung said, in Korean Zen, it takes infinite time. He said, if you think that way, you will never get enlightenment. So put down that kind of thinking. So whoever asked, don't worry about enlightenment. Enlightenment, even somebody gets enlightenment, what next? That's very important. What next? Okay. It's not like an automatic ticket. Oh, if I used to think that, oh, if I can only get enlightened, I won't suffer again. Well, I watched Sun Tzu. He had lots of suffering, but the suffering didn't stop him. It didn't hinder him at all. And somehow he could turn it into Dharma. That was amazing. Buddha had suffering. You know, we don't hear much about it, but one time he went in his little hermitage and he shut the door for 7 days because nobody was listening to him. And he just thought, okay. And he shut the door. And after a few days, everybody's saying, come out, we want your teaching. He gave them don't know mind. He just shut the door. Isn't that cool? That's great. I mean, I'm sure husbands and wives do that to each other all the time, but they're not sitting in the room feeling fine. They're too. So that doesn't work automatically. So anyway, Buddha suffered before he died. He had stomach pains. But what did he do? You know, he was given some food, I think mushrooms or something, that was bad by accident. He ate it, he got sick. He was sick for 8 days and he died. But what did he do? with that experience. Many people started to gather around. Then one day, while he was sick, he said, in my life, I have had 2 really good meals. So everybody's interested. The first good meal was when Sujata gave me the rice milk. You know, if the story is he and his 5 friends or 4 friends were practicing very hard and they were eating very little. And this woman came and she saw Shakyamuni sitting under a tree and she thought he was the tree spirit. And she always used to come and pray to that tree. So now she thought, oh, the tree spirit appeared. So she went home and she made rice milk, really, you know, like kind of a juke. And she brought it and gave it to him. And he ate it. And the other monks were so angry at him, they left because they felt like he broke our practice. But he said the first meal was the rice milk from Sujata. By that meal, I attained the middle way. That's when he realized too much indulgence, like I lived as a prince, is no good, but too much of this asceticism, you know, this harshness to the body is also not correct. So he found the middle way. And then he practiced and got enlightened. And he said, the second special meal I had is the mushroom soup that Kunda gave me a couple days ago. Through this, I will attain parinirvana, the great nirvana. The body will disappear itself. So how could anybody blame Kunda after that, after he said that? That's how he used his suffering. He had pain, he died, but he knew how to use it to help make harmony between people and to take away suffering. You can imagine if he didn't have that mind, everybody would, Kunda poisoned him. They would have killed Kunda. But after that, nobody can harm Kunda at all. That's the difference. It's not my life all becomes wonderful. I never have suffering again. It's that you learn how to take whatever appears and turn it into the true way. So somebody asked Zen Master Monggong about 100 years ago, maybe a little less in Korea, why don't more people practice Sun Bogyo, practice Zen? Then Monggong said, everybody in this life, everybody wants a good thing, but people don't understand. When you get a good thing, you also get a bad thing. Okay, a baby's born, everybody's happy. But if you look at it from a wide view, one day that kid will have his sadness and suffering, the kid will die, and that's sad. So when you get a good thing, you always get a bad thing. Actually, what's interesting is most kids, everybody's happy when a baby's born, except the baby. I realized that one day. The baby's crying. You know, it's like, what did you do to me? I was inside heaven. I was inside my mom and I felt good. And she's talking to me and mommy and daddy are rubbing me. And now I came out in this big, cold, ugly, hot, bright, crummy world. Ah! And everybody's like, oh, the baby boy. Maybe the baby's smarter than us, but we forget. Anyway, Monggong said, when you get a good thing, you always get a bad thing. He said, if they understood that, they would practice Zen. So why is that? Most of our life, it's natural. Just like an animal, we want good things, we don't want bad things. But a student of Buddhism understands it's not like that. What we do is good things come, we digest them, use them correctly to help all beings. Bad things come, we digest it, use it correctly to help all beings. So enlightenment just is a taste, a beginning taste of how do you do that? You know, how do you digest it? How do you flip it so that you can turn it into Dharma? A great Tibetan master said, turn appearance into the path, turning whatever appears in my life into the true way. That's the magic. That's the freedom. We're not attached to good and bad. It's not easy. I saw Seung work really hard, you know, because he was committed like a parent to live with everybody very hard, you know. We asked him once, you did many, many strong practicing in the mountains, but now you don't do that practice anymore. He said, living with my students is my practice. Teaching you is my practice. And he meant it. And his body was wrecked doing it, but he never complained. It's like a parent. You're not going to abandon the kid because you're sick. You're just going to try and figure out how to take care of the family in the best way possible. And if you have to die, you find some way to communicate. I had to tell a woman yesterday, you know, if you're dying of cancer, your daughter's 14, find a way to give her confidence, you know. You understand your daughter, and when she visits you, you can say how much you love her, how she's been like maybe the greatest thing in your life, and how you will always be with her. And she's always with you. Some speech like that. Of course, the kid's going to have their own hard time. Everybody does. That's the nature of things. It's not bad or good, you know. That's why we practice. Nobody knows why this world appeared like this. And it doesn't matter, you know. If we learn how to take what appears and turn it into the path, that is the great nirvana. That is the great way. That is the, you know, the wonderful thing. And then I heard yesterday, somebody said, we heal each other together. In Buddhism, they say, you and I at the same time become Buddha. Isn't that beautiful? So when you get enlightenment, the whole world gets enlightenment. But what are you going to do next? That's very important. Okay. So don't worry about the, you know, Santanim, yeah, he gave like maybe 40 Incas and he made 15 students transmission. And, you know, some people say, oh, you know, some of the teachers are good and some aren't so good. And, you know, why do you give so many? And Kobang Sanim gave 5 Incas. He only gave 1 transmission and blah, 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 blah. Well, I think Sun Sanim understood his job, you know. His job was throw out a lot of seeds all over the world. Some of them will grow really well. Some of them will blow away and disappear. Some of them will make weeds and make more problems, you know. So all you can do, all I can do is try to, you know, use what I've learned very well as I can. And that's true for all of us. And I learned so much from people who didn't get Inca, you know. I mean, really, you can learn from a dog or cat. You can learn from the wind and the sun and the moon and the mosquito. You can learn to, like, you know, I don't know what you do with mosquitoes, you know, kind of go away, go away. No, I don't know what you do. It's pretty bad karma to become a mosquito. So if you like to spend your life biting people, maybe next life you'll be a whole swarm of mosquitoes, and every time anybody sees you, boom, they want to kill you. So learn to be nice, at least part of the time. Okay, so you know, we get this incredibly fantastic teaching that comes down from Buddha. And even Buddha would say it's not his, it's the nature of things. It's the nature of the universe itself. And we get all the lay people and the monks and nuns who have continued to practice and pass it on. And you know, I happened to run into Zen Master Seung, and he got it from all the Korean Buddhists and did something very wonderful with it, you know. And so we're just already, we have amazing karma that we encounter the Dharma. So let's make use of it and practice and continue to join groups like this. I learn all the time. When Santini made me a Zen master, I went in the room after the ceremony and I bowed again to him and I said, "Oh, thank you very much for your teaching." You know, and then he said to me, he really understood me, I think. He turned to me and he said, before students learn from teachers, now teachers learn from students. And I love that. And it just made my whole life open, you know. That's what you do. You learn, you learn, you learn, you learn. And then one day you die and there's something new to learn. I mean, your body dies. I don't know what else happens. Probably your consciousness also, you know, sort of separates and who knows where it goes. And then you got to learn that. Okay. So nice to meet you all again and see you all again soon. And let's just keep doing it on our own and together. Thank you very much.